Hello PTE people, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert teachers here at E2 Language. So when you take PTE Academic, you're taking an academic English test. This means that what you're going to read about and what you're going to hear and write about as well is going to be academic literature. It's not going to be super complicated stuff, like you don't need to be an expert in biology, for example, to read that text. However, you're going to see lots and lots of different topics. So in this one, a predicted topic that you might read about or hear about is technology. So let's get stuck into it. We'll start with reorder paragraphs. Okay, so before we begin, just remember a few different things before you start doing this reorder paragraph. This comes from the E2 language method, which is extremely powerful and will help you a lot. In short, what you want to do when you look at this mixed up paragraph, this jumbled up paragraph, is you firstly want to find the independent sentence. That is, there'll be one sentence, sometimes two, which complicates it further, but usually one sentence that can stand alone. It's like the topic sentence of the paragraph. If you were to take all those 5 sentences and look at them individually, which one of them makes sense in and of itself? Right? You'd be able to pull it out and say, that makes sense. Because it's a good introduction to the paragraph, it's going to be broad, okay? You don't want to pull out a sentence that's really specific and links back to or needs another sentence. So there's that. The second thing you need to think about here is meaning. Really, doing a reorder paragraph successfully means that you understand what's been written, okay? Because then you can put together the meaning so it follows a logical progression. That's really key to reorder paragraph. The other thing that you can use that will help you, but don't let it lead you, is grammar. So for example, you might see something and then the something, or a tree and then this. So sometimes articles or pronouns or discourse markers can help you a bit, but again, don't let these lead you, because even the first topic sentence might start with a pronoun like it. It is widely believed, for example, okay? All right, let's get stuck into it. You have 90 seconds to do this one and put your answers into the comments below. All right, how did you go there? I think finding the independent or first sentence of this particular jumbled up paragraph was pretty straightforward. What do you think? I think the challenge with this one was the second sentence, because it seemed like there were 2 options there. Anyway, let's see how you go. So let's take a look at these sentences here. Which one is independent? This one's good. I automatically like this one. Researchers, a very clear noun, have developed a new low-cost wearable device that transforms the human body into a biological battery. That one has potential. What about B? It taps in, well, it can't be it, because it is referring back to something, right? What about C? The heat generates, well, this is kind of meaningless, because the heat, I mean, this hasn't been mentioned before. So it couldn't be this one. It's referring back to something as well. This is less voltage. No, it can't be that one either. Finally, the device is stretchy enough. No, it can't be that one. It's pointing backwards as well. So we found our first independent sentence. Hopefully you got that. Now comes the tricky bit where we have to match up the meaning, and we have to make decisions about which key words in that first sentence we'll use to match up to the second sentence there. There are two options. Hopefully you get this one. It is in fact E, so it goes 1A to E. Let's read them together. So, researchers have developed a new low-cost wearable device that transforms the human body into a biological battery. Now, you may have gone to B there. It taps into a person's natural heat, engaging thermo, blah, 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 blah. But what we're going to find out in a second is that that one connects to another one, and therefore it can't come at the beginning because then you're going to have a weird ending to your paragraph. So E is the best one here. The device is stretchy enough that you can wear it like a sweater. And if we just look back here, we can see a couple of interesting things here. Wear and sweater, and this is a wearable device. Okay, so next one up is it, the device. That noun becomes it. It taps into a person's natural heat, engaging thermoelectric generators, converting the body's internal temperature into electricity. So now we've sort of changed theme here, if you like. The first two sentences were about the wearableness of this technology. Now we're talking about how it actually works and how it uses heat or body heat to generate electricity. Number 4 then would be the heat generates a volt of electricity for every square centimeter of skin space. Cool, and this is less voltage per area than an existing battery, but still enough to power watches or fitness trackers. So, my friends, the answers are A, E, B, C, and D. How did you go? Just into the comments below for my curiosity, tell me what score you got out of 5. And for your interest, the scoring actually works a little bit different in the actual test. It's not just scored from 1 to 5. How it's scored is by which pairs you get together. So say you got A and E correct, but then you got B and C differently. So to cut a long story short, you can watch the methods lessons on e2language.com to learn more about the scoring, to learn more about the method, and to learn how to do these successfully every time. Cool, let's push on to another question about technology. But before we do that, if you haven't taken the PTE test before and you're unsure what you're going to get, or if you've taken the test before and you don't know why you scored poorly in a particular section, then you should check out our mini mock test with feedback. It's a really cool way to begin your preparation or to continue your preparation because you get that exam-like simulation, but more importantly, you get lots and lots of detailed feedback on every single question type, and there are 20 in PTE. You'll get writing feedback from our experts on all of the writing tasks, as well as speaking feedback as well. It's well worth the money. You can check it out at e2language.com. Cool, let's push on. Okay, let's do a listening multiple choice, multiple answers. Listen very carefully to this little conversation. What we've done here is we've taken what you just read very carefully in the reorder paragraphs and turned it into a transcript. So you sort of know it. What I want you to focus on here though is I actually want you to take notes. I don't want you to listen and read the answer options at the same time because that doesn't work. I'll tell you why. The reason is you cannot listen and read at the same time. You cannot take in information here and here at the same time. They contradict each other or they hit each other. It just doesn't work. What I want you to do is listen and listen very carefully and take notes. Understand everything you possibly can. Then I want you to look at the answer options and go no, no, yes, for example. And just for your interest, there will be 2 answer options coming up. Here we go. Listen carefully and write down some notes.
So researchers have developed a new low-cost wearable device that actually transforms the human body into a kind of biological battery.
Wow, that's wild. A battery.
Yeah, that's right. The device is kind of stretchy and you wear it like a sweater or a t shirt. What it does is tap into your body's heat engaging what we call thermoelectric generators, and this converts the body's internal temperature into electricity.
That's amazing. So, how much electricity can it generate?
Well, at this stage, it generates about a volt of energy for every square centimetre of skin space, but we expect it to do much more.
How much is that?
That's less voltage per area than an existing, say, AAA battery, but still enough to power watches or fitness trackers.
Okay, how did you go? Do you think you got the two correct answers? What we're going to do now is we're going to listen one more time because I want you to take a look at the transcript as well. I want you to read and listen and then confirm, make sure 100% that you have the two correct answers. Now, of course, on test day, you don't get to read the transcript. This is just a way to sort of build your skills. But also, I want you to think about the relationship between what's written in the transcript or what's said on test day and what the answer options are, because they're not exactly the same. Often they use synonyms or paraphrases, or they're written slightly differently. So the speaker's saying one thing, the answer option says the same thing, but it's written another way. And I want you to really become aware of how that works. Ready? Listen one more time.
So, researchers have developed a new low-cost wearable device that actually transforms the human body into a kind of biological battery.
Wow, that's wild. A battery.
Yeah, that's right. The device is kind of stretchy and you wear it like a sweater or a t shirt. What it does is tap into your body's heat engaging what we call thermoelectric generators, and this converts the body's internal temperature into electricity.
That's amazing. So, how much electricity can it generate?
Well, at this stage, it generates about a volt of energy for every square centimetre of skin space, but we expect it to do much more.
How much is that?
That's less voltage per area than an existing, say, AAA battery, but still enough to power watches or fitness trackers.
Okay, by now you should get it. Let's go through the answers together. Okay, so first of all, the battery mentioned, and then it just has sort of these statements that the statements are either going to say the same thing as the transcript, or they're going to contradict the transcript, in which case they're wrong, or they just won't be mentioned, in which case they'll be wrong as well. So the battery mentioned is more powerful than household batteries. Well, down here right at the bottom it says that's less voltage per area than an existing, say, AAA battery, but still enough power to power watches or fitness trackers, power household batteries. That is incorrect. It's contradictory. The battery mentioned is worn like an article of clothing. So up here they talk about wearable devices, and then the second person says, wow, that's wild, a battery. And then here the speaker says, yes, you wear it like a sweater or a t-shirt, like an article of clothing, a sweater or a t-shirt. That one is correct. The battery mentioned can be implanted into the body. It just doesn't say that, okay? There's nothing mentioned about that. It's not contradictory per se. It's just simply not mentioned. So we'll cancel that one out. The battery mentioned is much more cost effective than disposable batteries. Well, it probably is because it's using your body temperature, but does it actually say that in the transcript or what was said? The answer is, again, no. And you don't want to infer something. You don't want to draw conclusions that aren't actually there, that aren't actually said. So that's incorrect. Finally, the battery mentioned has the potential to become more powerful. Have a look at this section here. The speaker says, well, at this stage, it generates about a volt of energy for every square centimeter of skin space, but we expect it to do much more. It's a great sort of paraphrase of the word potential. So there you go. The answers are B and E. How did you go there? I want to show you one more thing. If you are not yet a subscriber, please click that subscribe button because we release really good videos that teach you how to do PTE Academic successfully. But more importantly, if you're actually really serious about your PTE preparation, you need some help, you need those methods lessons, all of them, because they're not all here on YouTube. You want to do some practice questions, join our live classes, get some writing and speaking feedback, nail this exam, then check out e2language.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.